Hi, my name is Hayden White. This is my third presentation for Accounting 6650, presenting on resolving ethical dilemmas. The IMA has 3 steps for resolving ethical dilemmas or conflicts. One is discussing it with your immediate supervisor. Certainly bringing it to their attention is the best thing to do. If they're involved in the situation, it may be best to go above them to the next level of management or administration to get some involvement on the situation and to avoid potentially somebody that's involved. And there's a right way to move up the line. Step 2, clarify relevant issues with an IMA ethics counselor. An IMA ethics counselor may not be available to everyone, but certainly consulting with a professional in the field is a good idea, especially if they are an independent to the situation, so that you can get some professional input on what you should do. And certainly consulting with your own attorney if that's available, researching the legal ramifications of your plan of action. Badaracco, in his article, "We Don't Need Another Hero," relates the heroics of the ethical heroes of today. Martin Luther King Jr., Gandhi, Mother Teresa, those that have done large and great and public things for ethics in recent history, and takes away from that that in today's business world, the heroes often are a lot more quiet in their solving of problems. He states that some important things are to pick your battles, choose when to make a stand, and draw your lines of ethical conduct, and know when to battle and when to stand up. Sleeping on it is a good idea. Stepping away from the situation, cooling off, and having a level head to carry out your plan of action is a good idea. He fought Halliburton and won is the article that I chose to present on. Tony Menendez, an accountant for Halliburton, discovered some questionable revenue recognition tactics going on at Halliburton with their bill and hold agreements. He brought this to his supervisor, who agreed with the rest of the accounting committee, and upon further investigation with internal audit, they decided not to move on it. Most likely, as Tony relates, they drug their feet because they didn't want to pay for it. They didn't want to go through what it would take to fix that kind of error. So he resigns and blows the whistle, loses in court but appeals, and eventually wins. Going through the steps, he contacted his direct supervisor, Mark McCollum, who supported him, agreed with him, just didn't take it as far as it needed to be taken. He kind of turns and eventually exposes Mark through some emails, and isn't really on his side on this. But Mark certainly involved him and got the rest of the committee involved, and did the right thing with this step. Clarifying, Mark did his research. He looked through the gap literature that they had at the company. He studied SOX and looked for the clarification on this specific type of revenue recognition and just couldn't justify it. He represented himself, but certainly looked into the legal ramifications. Mark picked his battles. He knew this is something he needed to stand up for. He did his research, he planned his presentation, and he carried out his plan of action. Ultimately, doing the right thing pays off. In this situation, how it pays off is questionable. But I believe that we live in a business world where we are eventually rewarded for doing the right thing, and that is the kind of employees that we need to be as accountants, to report to the public and uphold the name of companies that we work for. Thanks for listening. That's my presentation.